Low voter turnout and disenfranchisement, though, have been major concerns in the run-up to this midterm. Actor and activist Jesse Williams has been a crucial voice on those issues. He is a board member of the Advancement Project and joins us from Miami, where he is definitely encouraging people to vote. Jesse, with a welcome to you. You heard what Mariana was saying. These ladies are there. They voted, which is great. But there are some young voters, eligible voters, some of whom I've spoken with, who just don't think their ballot is going to make a difference. What do you say to them?
Well, good morning, Alex. Thanks for having me. Well, one of the things we say to them is you not only think about the national scale, what's happening locally in midterms, but you also think about amendments and propositions that you might have before you. I'm out here in Florida specifically to support Amendment 4, which is a commitment to allow returning citizens, folks who've been, we have 1.4 million Floridians who are not allowed to vote or lost their eligibility. They're people with felony convictions who are returning citizens to their communities. Often these are returning citizens to over-criminalized, over-policed communities, dealing with poverty and trying to re-enter society. And they've already served their time. They've already paid their dues. They're coming back home, and they don't have that very crucial element of this so-called freedom and as participants in their democracy. So we're looking to really be committed to having Amendment 4 passed. It's a very outdated, archaic, discriminatory policy that was put in Florida's Constitution in 1868.
I want to make sure that people understand about this Amendment 4. This is for felons who have fully completed their sentences, as you've said. These are not going to be convicted felons of murder or felony sex crimes. And the Palm Beach folks found that under current system, the Governor Rick Scott and his panel, they have restored the voting rights of the lowest percentage of African Americans in half a century. I mean, it's really a disenfranchisement, to say the least.
Yeah, it's outrageous. And you know, it became, as I said, in 1868, it was implemented in the Florida Constitution as a way to discriminate against newly freed Black Americans. So we need an update here. And this, by the way, while it does impact 2 out of 5 Black men in Florida, the majority of that 1.4 Floridians are white. This is not strictly race. This is about access and disenfranchisement, and we could use a more appropriate situation here in Florida. And this is the beginning of that process. I've been out here today talking to a whole range of folks who've been impacted by this, and they're white, Black women, men, and you know, their mothers, their fathers. They can't participate in their kids' lives. They can't volunteer at their kids' school. They're told where they can live, what jobs they can't have. So this is a step towards at least they can vote. They've already served their time again, and so we're out here just. You know, so that is an issue that your vote 100% matters, even if you don't feel caught up in all of the other folks running for other offices, or you don't feel plugged into what's happening on a national scale. Your vote absolutely counts, and this will open up a whole world of a swing vote in Florida.
Well, it's clearly something you're passionate about, but I'm curious, Jesse, your assessment, big picture, on how the president is leading the nation on race relations.
Well, he's not. This guy is a very divisive being, obviously, and it goes from dog whistle to dog whistle to dog whistle. It's fairly predictable and boring, frankly, and but it does what it set out to do, which is he's a one-punch fighter, right? He's just got one move, which is to just try to stir people up in the short term, and he's just campaigning to keep people divided and to be short-sighted and frankly vote against their own interest. I think that hustle is going to come back to bite them, both in this midterm and then when we get to 2020. I think young voters, white voters, are getting hip to game that this is not in your own interest, and this guy is actually doing a really great disservice to our country. And what kind of place do you want to live in? Like, how do you actually want your days to go? What do you want your life to be like? And if it's all about animus and these Frankenstein monsters and these boogeymen, that, you know, if you want to really drum up hate for Latin Americans who are somehow taking our welfare but also stealing our jobs, like, which one is it? Are they working or are they not working? These slogans are just nonsense, and it's just poster fodder, and it's not actual information. So as I think this country and the younger vote, and as we have access to information, you get to see behind the curtain and realize these are all knowable facts. Yeah. You know, all these things. You know, if somebody as a policy,
not alternative facts.
No, you can't just lie nonstop and we pretend that the emperor has clothes on. He's got nothing on.
Jesse Williams, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me, and I know I don't want to keep you because you are an activist and you are getting out there and doing your thing, and we appreciate that so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.